thanks for watching. Today I'm going to show you how to change the oil on a 2005 Honda Odyssey. It's a fairly simple maintenance procedure, but if you haven't done it before, it always pays to watch someone else do it first. It should take about 20 minutes start to finish. It may take a little bit longer for me today because I'll be talking and pointing things out and working one-handed as I hold the camera. Not a lot of tools you'll need, but a few things are essential. First thing, you're going to need some sort of system to catch the oil. This is a 9-quart oil pan. It's got those two little white plugs that I can unscrew, and it'll hold 9 quarts. The capacity in the 05 Odyssey, I believe, is 4.5 quarts. When you want to recycle the oil, you just take it to the recycling center, undo this, and pour it out. Recommended oil for 2005 Odyssey is 5W20. Like I said before, it's a 4.5 quart capacity. This is 5 quarts. Should be plenty of leftover. We're in the northern woods of Wisconsin. It's cold and gross right now, so you'll want a creeper to stay off the ground. You don't have to have one, but you'll get your jacket messed up if you don't. You'll need a new oil filter. This is a Prolator Classic. It's a L14610. I will flash the name of the applicable Fram filter at the bottom of the screen. If you want, you can wear gloves, keep your hands clean. You'll need a funnel to add the new oil, and you'll probably need an oil filter wrench. This thing will grab onto the oil filter and help you loosen it. Final thing you'll need is a wrench. Got my ratchet wrench here with the associated socket set here. And the last thing you probably want to do is just get yourself a pair of safety goggles so you don't get any nasty stuff in your eyes. So really, that's it. First things first, let's open up the hood. Looking at the driver's side left foot position, down below you see a little icon with a car and a hood emblem on it. You pull that, it'll click, and that releases the latch for the hood. Alright, let's get under the car. I just switched into an older jacket that I can not lose sleep on if I get it trashed, but I'm going to be careful. This is underneath the engine. I've got a light on so we can see. You see this tailpipe assembly, and then right next to it you see this large flat surface. Right here it says engine oil, and on the other side of that is a nut or a bolt head. And if you can see that, that's good, but that's what we have to loosen to drain the oil. Okay, I could not for the life of me get my big camera to work underneath at a good angle, so I'm getting out the techno stuff, my little GoPro with a miniature tripod. We'll put that under there to catch the oil release, the magnificent oil release. Here is the oil plug drain. It is a 17mm bolt. The noise you're going to hear is me sliding the drip pan underneath it. Okay, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, here we go. Alright. The oil's going to be warm again, so I'm going to be quick with this. I'm just going to let the oil plug drop into the pan. And it could be hot, so be careful. There it goes. Alright, underneath I've got the GoPro to catch the up close and cool action. I've got the drip pan collecting the dirty black oil. It's not windy today, so we don't have to worry about the oil being sprayed all over. But we should be draining 4.5 quarts of oil, and we're going to add 4.5 quarts of oil. Okay, the bolt looks good, the oil plug, so I'm just going to put that back in there, hand tighten it, and there is a specified torque you're supposed to tighten this to. What I'm going to do is just tighten it hand tight and then snug it with a wrench. And not too tight, just enough. And we are half done. Now all we have to do is change the oil filter itself. Alright, you can see I got rid of the creeper because I needed a little bit more clearance, and it is Thanksgiving, so I'm a little thicker than I normally am. And I went with a mover's blanket down here just to keep me off the cold ground. But one of the things I really like about the 2005 Odyssey is the ease at which you can get to the oil filter. You can see the oil plug that we just loosened to drain the oil right there. If you back up a little bit and go towards the wheel well, and I've got the light on it right there, you can see that oil filter. In this case, it's a blue one. But as far as oil filters go, you can't get much easier access to one than this. So I will get my oil filter wrench, loosen that. Okay, it's loose. That's all you need the wrench for. Now you should be able to do it with your hand. Yep. I'm going to try to slide that underneath, get a good angle, and hand loosen that. Apparently someone just came outside and dumped the recycle. It scared the hell out of me. Okay, this is where those gloves, those vinyl or shop gloves will come in handy. I don't mind getting a little oil on the frame. In the north they call that rust prevention. And you can see that as a stock Honda filter. We're just using a generic box store, a perlator that you can pick up at Walmart for about $4. Okay. Oil is going to drain out of that into the pan, and you'll need a rag to wipe your hand off like I will. Alright, I just pulled off the oil filter, and you can see right in the center of the screen that little pipe with the threads on it. That's where it went. And it's draining in my oil reclamation pan, the oil change pan. Now all I have to do is screw the new oil filter on there, but first I need to oil the gasket on it so it doesn't seize. Okay, I've only got about 2 steps left. One, I have to put the new oil filter on. Here it is, a little perlator. One thing I always do is I grab my fresh oil, 5W20 in this case, get a little on my finger, and rub it on this seal, on this little rubber gasket. And now I'm ready to thread this on. That just prevents this thing from seizing onto the metal. So next oil filter, next oil change, it'll come off that much easier. Looks like I've got that angled right. You just thread the new oil filter on. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And it'll spin a whole bunch of times. There's a lot of threads. Once it's snug with your hand, you'll take your oil filter wrench and give it another twist with that. Okay, that's snug right there. There. Okay, now let's fill it full of oil and we are done. We are almost done now. Oil filter's changed, the old oil is drained. On the top of the engine, in the center of the block here, is a thing that says engine oil. It says SAE 5W20, that's what you should use. We're going to open that up. Okay, last thing you need to do is add the clean oil, the new oil. I prefer a long funnel. It's all the way in there. And I'm not trying to pour the oil through the air, you know, a foot, let the wind get it. So here it is. I got about an 18-inch long net funnel. Got my 5 quarts of oil here, and I'm going to add 4.5. Slowly. Okay. The little viewport on the side says I have a 1/2 quart left on there, so I'm assuming 4.5 quarts are in there. We'll let that settle, cap it, and then check the dipstick. Alright, if we let it drain for a minute, all the oil should be in the engine. The dipstick on the 05 is behind the battery. You see down there a little yellow stick. You pull that out and that will tell you the measurement of the oil. There are two holes at the tip of the stick and the oil should be between those two holes. If it's just covering one, it's a little low. If it's covering both, it's a little full. This one looks like it's right in the middle. So that is our dipstick. I've already wiped it off once before I started the camera. Typically you take it out, wipe it off, reinsert it, and then pull it out. But I've done that once already. So we'll just go ahead and reinsert that into the hole and push it straight down to make sure it's seated. Once the oil dipstick is back in place, you are complete with your oil change. Changing your own oil is an awesome way to get familiar with your vehicle, and it's a good way to save some money. So I hope what I showed you today will teach you and show you the right steps to change your own oil. Best of luck, and thanks for watching.